Alright, so let's continue, I guess.
Wow, not even a welcome back to Gollum.
So few of us are destined to return.
I'm just so done with this game. Alright, moving on. I mean, normally I would say welcome back, but is it really? Is it really a welcome?
To be fair, the debate was for the good morning in the Hobbit, not so much for a welcome back. And hey, at the very least, we're getting lore.
Yeah, like, to give it credit, this is probably the most enjoyable the game has been.
Like I said, hypothetically, if the game was technically shorter in a sense that the whole prison was your tutorial and did not last that long, maybe one chapter tops, and the rest of the game was this section, again, I honestly think the game would have been more enjoyable. Sure, still very short, technically, not that long. Again, hypothetically, if it was because of this, being budget and everything was still sold at a lesser price, it would still have the problem of the bugs, and the presentation. But at the very least, it would it would completely cut away the pacing issues.
It would, but the game would still be terrible design, and that terrible climax that is controller throwing annoying would still be there. So I'm not that would be better, yeah, but at this point I just genuinely believe there was no saving this thing.
It's a combination of things. The game, okay, even if you didn't want to make the game shorter, it needed to be better paced. If you wanted us to spend as much time as we did in that prison, more interesting stuff needed to happen. And no, it didn't. I don't consider basic chores exciting from the get-go. Like, even in games that make chores fun to do, there needs to at least still be some sense of, like, purpose to things. Like in Red Dead Redemption 2, doing the chores helps raise the morale and helps with your honor stuff. What the heck was that?
It was a skunk.
Lovely. But yeah, no, I mean, the chores in the prison were not fun and interesting. Our companions were not endearing or interesting. And again, here's what you could have done. Have Mel just be the main companion throughout. Like, the first two companions barely feel like they matter. And like, maybe if the idea was to show that Gollum just only used the other two companions, but this is the one he truly cares for, except, no, it's implied he did care for Grashnag, assuming you went with the Smeagol route and all that. It's just that this feels like a tease of what we could have gotten in a much better game. Because, yeah, I'll still hold, Mel is arguably the best character in this game aside from Gollum. Yes, even in a game with flipping Gandalf in it, Mel's better. And I don't mean that in
Gandalf
the sense
is not very just in a complete main role.
That's what I was getting to, yeah, that's what I was going to get at. Like, now, to be fair, Gandalf's not like a main focus, for the most part. Sure, he shows up. And the focus is definitely more on Mel in that regard. And I'm not even saying that as a dig at Mel's character. Like, no, she is, overall, still a fine character. It's just that she's not as well fleshed out as she could be, because she shows up way, way late into the game. And honestly, at a point where a lot of players may have already put the game down for just being so gosh dang boring, when it's not being buggy, glitchy, or just straight up bad. Hey, are we supposed to interact with these things now? Because they keep blinking like they're supposed to be something you interact with. Those nuts or bell things.
Maybe maybe they react when you get close to them as part of the environment. I don't know.
Alright, the stamina's a thing here.
Again, like Pedro said a few parts ago, doing it for running for these sequences makes no sense at all.
Yeah, like, usually the idea is to, like, put them specifically in sequences where stamina is important. Putting it here just... It just...
All it does is make the process go slower. That's the problem. Like,
yeah.
Like the the game does not benefit in any way, shape, or form from this stamina meter. The stamina meter is just here to make things more frustrating for you. That's all it is.
Like, it took 3 games for Itaka Miyazaki to understand this, but finally in Elden Ring, when you're not engaged in combat, if you actually sprint and run, you actually don't consume the stamina.
Yeah.
So eventually someone actually got it there.
Those we lost
Yep.
long ago in the Battle of Gollum.
Because it's a similar thing there. Yeah. Like I understand the idea behind the stamina system, but at the same time, it can make a game. Yeah, exactly. It can render a game unnecessarily frustrating a lot of times. Okay, so basically, allow me to explain what's going on right now. Basically, once again, I kinda got a bit at a loss of what was I supposed to do and that's because I once again did not move the camera up so I could see that it turns out there's a ledge I can climb into, which again I really wish the game would use a dynamic camera to point me to that, but whatever, because they say, oh, you have to climb the you have to go through the thing, yeah, but
You are strange.
I wasn't. They said they have to climb the bell tower. I wasn't even certain if this was the bell tower because you don't see any bells. Like,
Well, she did mention at the end of the previous part.
There's a lot
And
of
this
things.
is, and I guess this is a bell tower. It'd be
Just in
weird if there
ruins,
wasn't a bell.
I suppose there was a bell, but
You're not really looking for eggs, are you?
well, tail or something. It's like how we had to remove the bell from the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
You can keep it.
so yeah, we have to find some food for Mel. Okay. And I guess there's nothing else.
Talk to the hand.
Good. Do your aerobic stretches, Gollum.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on.
Okay. You know, the score here really feels limited. I feel like I've heard the
throughout the entire
same.
game. It's been very ambient focused, and only in a few selected places it tried to shine. But it's at best it's just unmemorable. At worst, it's just serviceable. I don't think it's outright the worst thing ever. It's not great in my ears or anything, but you're not gonna remember this at all.
There are some times where it feels unfitting because it feels like they only had like 1 or 2 music tracks to use. Like they're constantly using a groaning, haunting tune, even in bits that don't look that spooky overall. I don't know, like have some more. Like you could have some more upbeat tunes if you wanted.
Yours is into dusty glowworms.
A moth.
Keep looking, precious.
Okay.
Whoa!
All right, let's continue.
Food found 2 out of 3.
Okay. And here's
Riveting.
the third food is in here.
In a muddy cave.
Even
Yes.
though this is the more interesting parts of
Snail.
the game because we can speak to Mel, my god, this busy work is still boring even when we're out of prison. Like, granted, change of scenery, that's nice, but
What did Smeagol tell
I
her?
don't know.
But it doesn't
Just-
matter because tomorrow.
I feel like,
this
okay,
opens the
I feel like had the game been more interesting up to this point, I would find this as, okay, it's a nice breather section.
nasty
Here, though,
little
like,
neck.
kind of
Whole
have been
game's
waiting
a
for the
breather
game
section.
to. I guess, in some ways, yeah.
All right, let's go back to Mel. And that's it. And that's
And that's how my story ends.
What has it asked us, eh? Enough food.
really that hurt me. Come on.
This game really likes to just splash around fall damage like there's no tomorrow.
Splash.
Clever elf, yes, but blind. Wait until it's weary. Wait until it's
All right,
sleepy.
let's go.
Then crack.
Oh, let me guess. Gollum wants to kill Mel, but Smeagol doesn't.
Basically, classic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I assume something has to happen with Mel to explain why she's not with
Oh, this
Gollum
bit here.
in
Let's
the
look at
original
this here.
trilogy.
So I go through this passage here, and I can't get there. There's no thing that I can climb, as you can see. So not through here then.
There's totally something there you can grab onto, isn't there?
No, there isn't. That's the thing. Which again, this is literally at that
Why
end. This
have
is
that
literally at that
there?
end. Yeah. Why have this passage even in here? It's just
That's
to
the
waste
way
your
you came
time.
from.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay then.
Okay then.
If that is the case, then I get it. Okay, seriously, those things that are hanging, I assume we'll have to use them at some point because they're blinking like the guardrails that you swing
Okay, I
from.
think you can throw a stone at them, but I don't remember that bit.
And I guess that would mean there's going to be a stealth section later, which, to be fair, we know the Candleman and company are coming after us, but just feels weird to have them marked out like that at the moment. Then again, given how this game was programmed, they probably couldn't figure out how to do it in intervals.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's go through here, I guess. Alright, and we grab on here.
This game definitely earned its title as one of the worst games of 2023. I know we're not to the end yet, but
No, it does.
Look,
Trust me.
even
Trust me, someone who completed the bloody thing. This game deserves every single amount of panning it got.
Again,
like-
the only question remaining is like, what would you take between if you had to, if they pointed a gun at your head and told you to choose between this and the King Kong game, what would be the lesser evil?
Well, I haven't actually
I
played
guess
the
on
King
the
Kong
one-
game, so I can't really answer that question.
I guess on the one hand, the King Kong game doesn't cost $70 for
and I'm
its-
guessing it's shorter, so maybe there's that.
It does look noticeably incredibly frustrating, possibly even more than this one, though, based on Dark Roger 1's review. So,
That is a point.
Like I said, that's what the conundrum probably realizing.
Like, okay, if I were going into which game I would technically get better bang for my buck, I'm guessing that would be King Kong. Although on the other hand, I guess if I actually wanted a story, King Kong might provide even less from what I've seen. Jesus Christ.
The
So,
story in the King Kong game is practically non-existent. Again, Joe, I can literally sum it up with one phrase. Kong's mother got killed by a dinosaur, and years later, Kong has PTSD and goes on a murder rampage. The end.
riveting. And okay, look, I know that kaiju monster stories aren't always going to be the most deep and thought-provoking. Godzilla -0, but
One,
I mean-
actually, Jova.
that's my point, though. Is like, well, no, kaiju movie monsters don't have to have
No,
minuscule
as if you
plots.
fucked up the title again.
whatever. The point is, like with King Kong, that game probably had even worse conditions of development. Because you know, that game looks even
Yeah.
worse. It looks even more amateurishly made, and that's saying something.
Wait a minute. The title is Godzilla -1.
Yeah, you said
Oh, wait,
-0.
I said -0. Yeah, you're right.
All right, hey Mel.
Godzilla -1 equals this game.
All right, so now we can offer food or continue the riddle game. We'll do the riddle game later.
Would if I could.
All right, so now we have to figure out which
Okay.
food she wants, and
Okay.
maybe I didn't pay
Okay.
attention, but I can't quite tell if the game told me this. But I guess we'll go with mushroom. If I remember correctly, I'm gonna pick mushrooms because it feels like
Mushrooms.
be the more
Well,
odds.
logical choice.
But no, perhaps.
Thank you. No mushrooms.
Damn.
I never liked their smell.
Okay, it can't be moths. I seriously can't imagine she would like
That
to
is
eat
probably
moths.
the snail.
Wouldn't it be ironic if it was moths? Because moths are supposedly would help her hear or know where she's going.
I didn't ask you anything in that truthful.
Not that it matters because you don't have to get it right. The game will just move on. So
But I guess getting it right helps their relationship out better.
Bird up.
We knows that voice. See who's back?
what do you mean voice? It's a bird. It doesn't have a voice.
I don't
Perhaps
like the
Gollum
sound
sees
of
it
his
as a
voice. It
voice,
speaks
as
a
a person.
strange tongue.
Because we taught him, didn't we, my precious?
Shh. That dwenu have the worth.
Well,
Guess
bye
they
then.
Found that offensive.
There's something foul about that bird.
Where is foul? We will go sleep inside. The elf can stay and watch the moon.
All right.
Okay,
I guess
fine then.
I guess that was a fight between them.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a conflict, I guess.
It
I
didn't
feel
really
like-
sound like it. It sounded,
Yeah,
like,
it's
very
it sounded more like a little
abbreviated one.
tiff. It sounded more like a little tiff you have for your sibling.
Yeah, the tone really did not sell that argument well. But the bird is still watching. Ominous!
Whatever. The bird will not be back
Yeah,
until.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The bird will not be back into the plot until like the last hour. So it's not like it matters. Oh yeah, and now okay, Theo. They're haze things, right?
Okay.
Those purple things that you just saw.
What is this?
Okay, I need to remember seeing this because I can assure you that whatever protective magic Trundle put did not really involve the spirits.
Well, we'll take a look at
apparently
It's
this.
probably
were,
another original thing made for the game.
Okay.
So apparently we're
Oh,
locked.
oh.
So apparently we're locked in the bell tower now.
Yeah, that's the thing. The door is closed for some reason. So now we have to go we have to take the longest way to get to where Mel is.
Of course.
She's been captured, hasn't she?
Not captured, like she's mysteriously somewhere else now. Like for some reason, I don't know. Alright, let's go. Literally the exact same path that I just did. Yeah, there you go. Taylor's right. It's the path we came from. It's just like, yeah. I guess. Oh, there it is. And when you touch it, it does this. So I'm assuming it's haze.
It does.
No.
I mean, it looks purple like the haze does. So
That looked more blue, but still.
Well, to be fair, the sphere in itself is purple.
a creature is
Yeah.
blocking the path. Throw a stone at the bell to clear the
There
way.
you go.
Is
That's a creature?
apparently.
There you go, Joe,
wait.
That's what the bells are for, to distract them.
Hold on. But we touched another one earlier, it didn't kill us. Why did that
That's
one
because
kill
it
us?
hurt me and I didn't have enough health to withstand another one. You can touch one. You can survive one of them tops.
So these are creatures, I guess.
Yes, they're.
Again, original stuff. I have no idea what the devs are doing with these.
It feels
I
like
can tell you it cannot be really haze because the haze is supposed to be literally just a barrier, not a set of generic spirits.
so. It's just a
Also,
spell. Maybe it's a spell that friend will
the
put in to
frame
put.
rates on these things.
Maybe it's intentional to make them look otherworldly or some shit. I don't know.
No, look at that. In this one, it's just fine. It's like in that one instead. It's like I'm watching a draw distance enemy in Tales of Zestiria. Jesus.
Weird. Why are you trying to go that way?
I
Because
think that's the game telling you not to go there.
well, yeah, but I still can go, so I might as well try.
What a maverick.
And let's see, it's the same. There's nothing here new, so we'll just go back in a moment. Maybe these things are part of Franduil's magic to protect the
Yeah, I guess
Mirkwoods.
that's the excuse that they're having. It's just that it really feels inconsistent with. Again, considering this is late in the game, me thinks it's a case of the developers probably intended something else, probably more ghost-like appearance, but because they did not have much time, glowing balls.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, but like, really? This is the big bad enemy you think of? Glowing balls? Honestly, I didn't even know that these were supposed to be creatures.
Just to mention, because I don't think that comes into play towards the end, but if you forgot, because it's a thing, Mirkwood does have a fuck ton of spiders. You couldn't bring them back instead?
I guess they figured you get one spider level. Or maybe the
Again, the
idea is...
setting completely justifies their presence for this location.
I'm guessing the idea is supposed to be that around this time, Shelob's children were gathering more so around her, seeing as how by the time of the original trilogy, Shelob's the only giant spider we run into.
To be fair, Joe,
which-
but the reason why they did so in the Hobbit, despite Shadow being present in Mordor, was because of Sauron's presence as the Necromancer. So I guess maybe the reason why they're not as prevalent is because the Necromancer is gone by the time of your regional trilogy. But no, because Mirkwood is still a hostile place, and even the lore in this game told us that Thranduil and his cohort had to recede to a different place in their territory. So they should still be present in some fashion.
My best guess is that by this time in the timeline, something's gone up with the spiders that's made them receive
it's easier.
more.
It's actually easier, Jova. The devs actually did not, thought about it to implement them.
That's the weird thing, though, as even you've noted, the devs clearly do know how the timeline is supposed to be working, so what the hell happened?
That's possibly the worst case, where someone actually knows the source material, but they still fuck up because they either they think their ideas actually are better or something.
Oh, I definitely do agree that
I don't think it's applicable to the entire game, mind you. Again, there are a lot of your original concepts done for this game that I actually do not mind, so don't worry about that. It's just that sometimes they do, as they say in my country, they piss out of the toilet.
I do get what you mean, though. Like, well, the frustrating thing about it is, like, look, when someone just clearly doesn't know, it's frustrating that you put someone like that on their job, but at least it's more understandable. When somebody does clearly know what's wrong with this, though, and does it still, though, that is arguably more angering.
There you go. Alright, let's continue and try to dodge.
I'm reminded, what I'm reminded from these, Pedro? The the spirit enemies from Final Fantasy 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're kind of similar to that, these giant energy balls. Except I can assure you, Jova, the way they're presenting that game, they make sure that if you encounter one of them, you shit your pants, because they're the classic high-level mob that you better not steer because they will destroy you instantly. In late game, you can actually start fucking them up yourself, but again, you need to be prepared, and by the time you encounter them the first time, you are not, definitely.
I'm guessing, going off of the music...
So, how exactly am I supposed to dodge that one? It doesn't seem like it would be possible to get through there.
Ideally, you're supposed to have them get close to the bells and then hitting them with the stones.
I guess.
It makes them disperse. I'm guessing these guys are supposed to be spooky, scary, given the earth-shattering cry we heard when they first showed up, but... I don't know, something about how they look...
Wraiths of something, I guess.
Why not just make them look like actual wraiths instead of
like
balls?
I said, the devs probably did not enough time to make them, humanoid in appearance.
Be afraid of the finale enemy! Purple balls!
Even the actual wraiths that the hobbits encounter in the stuff that was cut away, that's in the book, early on before getting to Bree, where they have to be saved by Tom Bombadil. Even those wraiths still have some sort of humanoid appearance instead of being these balls. Oh.
Ah! And alas, it was not the balls that killed Gollum, it was gravity.
Mm-hmm.
In the not so wise words of Duke Nukem, I got balls of fail.
I to be honest, I prefer the words of Gollum as he fell. Ah!
Uh-oh, that last step was a doozy.
Like, the sad thing is, they really could have had a good creepy atmosphere if they had gone honestly with the... That was cheap. They could have had a good creepy atmosphere going, seeing as how this is, if I recall correctly...
Okay, this part here. So you're probably wondering, where do I go? So my idea is, there's a thing that looks like land, but it looks like I probably would be too far away for me to run.
I guess it's another one of those things where the jump looks way too far, but you actually are supposed to do it.
It's much like last time when we were in the water bit, like we're going through the river of the elves. You have to jump at the last millimeter of land to make that jump, and it's annoying because again, this is not the kind of game that you should have precision platforming like this.
So just to check, like, do we ever find out who cast these purple balls?
Again, I'm guessing we're supposed to assume that it's all the work of Thranduil.
The thing is that it's inconsistent. So ideally, it would be more of a case of maybe the magic of a Candleman, I suppose, to an extent. But it's too, a sparkly visual to be actually dark magic of some kind. No, again, it's inconsistent no matter where you look at that. The closest I can imagine would be the spirit of the dead that still resides, in Mirkwood in some fashion, but it's a stretch still.
Like, I honestly would sooner believe that this magic was cast by the bad guys, since Thranduil doesn't seem to really have any reason to cast this magic. Like, maybe if it's like to, like, I don't know, repel against the spiders, but we haven't run into any spiders, so
What about Shello?
that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, in Mirkwood, that's what Jova is meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. The developers really wanted a level where you climb around trees, dodging these something like some kind of slow-moving enemies thing.
Yeah, the energy causing of the Langolier.
There you go. See, like it's like barely. I literally barely made it. Literally. Although surprisingly, I don't.
Wait, you touched the wall as you died.
No, it's more so that I tried to jump because it looked like maybe there was something that I could jump to, but I guess not.
And like I was going to say, this could have worked for a Creep Me atmosphere, because this is the first time we've heard this music track, whereas if I'm recalling correctly, this is the first time we've heard this particular creepy tune, whereas
I
a lot
think
of
so.
other tunes
but-
they have reused.
I think so, but the soundtrack is completely and utterly unmemorable to me, so I can't even be sure about
Yeah,
that.
it's like I said before. Again, while not the worst soundtrack that I ever heard, and I don't even think it's technically bad, you're not gonna remember it one way or another.
All
I
right,
think you were supposed to go over to the left.
on your left, Cap. Anyway, moving on.
Scary.
Is it?
I think that's what it's
I guess
trying to
there is
be.
some tension, but scary. That's
See, here's the thing.
question
Maybe if
mark.
these things actually looked scary somehow, maybe, but they don't. They just look silly to me, to be honest with you.
They could,
Even
in
on
and
a
of
gameplay
themselves,
purpose, if they insta-killed you, yeah, it would be a problem. But the game demonstrated that you can tank one, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, is that Mel up there?
I think so. Yes. So yeah, it is. So once again, so Mel, what are you doing there exactly?
I guess maybe
Taking
she
refuge,
ran to safety. Yeah.
All right. Hey. Oh fuck.
Well, at least you
Lack of-
survived.
I really
For
don't.
lack of,
I'm just so tired of this game requiring me to do so much platforming, even though it doesn't have the controls of a platformer.
I'm just gonna say, Sonic Adventure 2 practically lets you grab any ledge whatsoever when you're playing as Sonic or Shadow.
Well, yeah.
assuming
well,
the detection works, Jova, I still have nightmares from Final Chase. So.
well, Joe, but here's the
I
thing.
mean-
Here's a better comparison. Like I've said before, Uncharted, which is in the same genre as this game, allows you to grab every ledge too. And I don't understand why games of this genre feel the need to limit how many ledges you can, what kind of ledges you can grab, right?
Well, my
Consider-
point in using Adventure 2, similar to how Tio uses Rayman, is the fact that a game even that old knew to not limit edge grabbing to such a stupid degree as this game does.
It's not even so much that. It's like I wouldn't mind the limited ledge grab if the jumping controls were better. Because trust me, the jumping controls are going to be super important in the game's climax, and it really showcases how bad they are.
How did Mel get up here?
I love how he says they stopped falling even though they're clearly still there in the background.
Sure of it.
What?
Until
I believe somehow he saw me, protected me. Come, the gate
So you're
is not
telling me
far.
that these things were sent by Gwendil?
Oh, I forgot about that line. Yeah, so maybe it was. So apparently, it was Gwendil that did that somehow.
It might check with the fact that he can use magic and he's labeled as the Riddle Master, but god.
But in that regard, he sent something that hindered us. The people who have been helping, I guess. I assume the Riddlemaster cares for Mel, since he implies that
We do a
he
little
sent them to
trolling.
protect her. But in that case, then, why'd they play it up so creepy? Like, literally that these are full-on enemies, but no, apparently they were there to protect her? What?
I don't know what to tell you.
Alright, then.
It makes the scene feel pointless.
Alright, everybody, tune in next time where we go to, and I'm not kidding you, the most boring and long puzzle in the entire game.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
See ya.